Chapter 1. Morning Mist on the Water. The day begins before the sun is fully awake. Here, along the canals of the Low Countries, morning doesn't arrive with trumpets or fanfare. It arrives slowly, with the hush of mist that rests gently across the water, like a soft shawl drawn over sleeping shoulders. The air is cool. Not cold, just enough to kiss the skin and remind you. You are part of the day now, not apart from it. Along the edge of the canal, the houses, tall and narrow, made of brick, wood, and patience, lean into each other slightly. They've stood for centuries, quiet, watching. The water lies still. So still it mirrors the world around it. But even the stillest water is alive. Beneath the surface, little things stir. You might notice the distant call of a gull, the faint scrape of a boat rope shifting, or the sigh of wood adjusting to the morning chill. There's a man on the dock. His face is creased, not by worry, but by years of weather and laughter. He bends slowly, not from pain, but from a lifetime of knowing. That morning work need not be rushed. He coils a rope, carefully. Rope is like time. It must be handled with respect. He doesn't speak. No one does. Words are not needed yet. Only rhythm and breath. Across the canal, in one of those leaning houses, a curtain stirs. A woman is waking. She pulls the window open, just a little, to let the new day in. Her curtain lifts, catching the breeze, and the scent of water and earth flows in. Moss, brick, smoke, dew. On the window pane, reflections of the canal shimmer. Even the reflection seems sleepy, stretching, rising. Farther down, two men push off in a flat-bottomed boat. No engines, no haste. The oar dips in and comes out. Dips in and comes out. The only sound is the faint hush of water parting. Their nets lie beside them, still wet from yesterday, their fibers worn smooth by years of tide and fish. The mist takes them gently, folds around them like memory. You can still see their silhouettes, but only barely. A bell tower rises across the rooftops. Its sound is old and slow. The bell chimes once, not to rush anyone, only to say, "I'm here. The hour has passed. The day has begun." A bird flutters near the tower's spire, wings barely moving. It rides the early currents, finding its place in the sky. The town doesn't rush to life. It stretches into it. On a small dock, someone left their boots. Beside them, a basket tipped gently on its side. Perhaps they've gone to gather bread, or to pray. Or maybe, just to watch the water wake up. The wood of the dock groans very softly, expanding in the moist air. A duck floats past. Its wake, barely visible, draws a long, slow line across the mirrored canal. This is how the world draws when it wants to be quiet. There's a child now, sitting on stone steps that descend into the water. Wrapped in a shawl too large for her, she stares. Not at anything in particular, just at the way light moves in water. Children understand silence better than we do. They don't rush to fill it. A bird lands near her and pecks at the moss between the stones. She doesn't startle. The moment belongs to both of them. Along the embankment, a man pulls a cart. Its wheels hum softly over uneven cobbles. He carries milk from fields just beyond the edge of the town. Cans clink together gently, a quiet percussion to morning song. No one shouts. He nods to a passerby. She nods back. This is conversation here. As the bell tower tolls again, the mist begins to lift. Not quickly, not completely, just enough to reveal more rooftops. Chimneys now puff with thin trails of smoke. The baker is awake. The clothier. The clerk. Shadows stretch longer now. Color returns. Faint reds of tiled roofs, dull greens of trees, the deep charcoal of dampened stone. But it is all still soft. The world has not woken. It has simply opened its eyes. The canal, once still and full of dreams, now moves with purpose, but not haste. It reflects the sky now, faint blue and milky white. Reflections break, but never shatter. The buildings above, the birds above, the lives above, all move slowly, in concert. You might hear a whisper now, the breeze moving between houses, or maybe just your own breath. This is morning, not in the way we often know it, but in the way it once was, and perhaps still could be. Not hurried, not loud, not announced by blinking screens or blaring horns, but by mist and milk and footsteps, by windows and water. Stay here a moment longer if you'd like. Nah, let the canal carry your thoughts as it carried the boats. Drifting, quiet, easy. There is no rush. The day will wait. Chapter 2. Daily Chores. Along the canal. The mist has lifted now, though it lingers in corners, in alleyways, as if reluctant to leave completely. The day has begun. Quietly, yes, but surely. With it comes motion, not swift or urgent, but steady, measured, as though each movement has been made before and will be made again tomorrow. Down the canal, shutters open with a wooden sigh, one after the other. Clack, clack, clack. The town stretches itself open, like a book returning to its favorite page. Behind those shutters, homes stir. Aprons are tied, braids are woven. Fires, once embers, are gently stirred. A woman walks to the water's edge. Her feet move over the cobbles with practiced grace. She carries a bucket in one hand, a memory in the other. She lowers the bucket into the canal. The rope stretches. The water accepts the pail with a soft gulp. She lifts it carefully. No need to rush. The day is long, and the water is generous. Behind her, a child follows. Barefoot, holding a scrap of cloth. He pauses to watch the ripples, then crouches to see his own reflection. He does not speak, but he understands. This is the beginning of something. A baker props open his wooden door. Warmth escapes, yeast, flour, steam, and the slow music of a hearth-fed oven. His hands are coated in flour. His eyes still hold the quiet of the early morning. Inside, dough rests in wicker bowls, covered by cloth. Waiting. Rising. Outside, the cobblestones glisten, still damp from the night's breath. At the watermill, the wheel has begun to turn. The sound is low, rhythmic, a whisper in wood and current. The paddles move slowly. The mill is in no hurry, and neither are the people who depend on it. A young man carries sacks of grain. He lifts one onto his shoulder. He doesn't groan. He simply walks. Up the ramp, down the ramp, up again. Each step worn smooth by repetition. Each motion steady, like a heartbeat. In a second-story window, an elderly woman threads a needle. Her hands move slowly, but surely. She hums a tune that has no name, one she has always known. The cloth in her lap is patched and faded, but the stitch she places in it is perfect. Outside, the canal reflects everything, but nothing exactly. It is more suggestion than mirror. A cat curls on a warm step. Its tail flicks once, then rests again. Its ear turns at the faint sound of pigeons, but its eyes stay closed. A merchant sets out jars on a wooden counter, each one polished, each one labeled. Lavender, clove, vinegar, salt. He lines them up with care. Not for perfection, but for balance. Two boys pass by. One holds a hoop, the other a stick. They aren't racing, they're exploring. Their laughter skips like stones. Not too loud, not too wild. Just enough to remind the day that joy lives here. A seamstress sweeps her doorstep. Short strokes, soft bristles, dust and thread and quiet memories. Gather into a neat pile. She hums as she works. A melody with no beginning and no end. A cart rolls by, drawn by a single, tired horse. The driver tips his cap. Someone tips theirs in return. No words pass. But something is exchanged. Laundry flutters overhead, linen shirts, aprons, underthings. Hung between windows, they dance with the breeze. Not wildly, just enough to feel alive. The butcher steps outside, wipes his hands on his apron, carries a crate to the curb. Inside, salted cuts, neatly wrapped, the morning's work. He takes a deep breath and watches the water. A woman kneels by the bank. She washes a spoon. One spoon. Slowly, like it matters. Her hand moves in circles. She watches the ripples widen, then fade. In the doorway of a house, a man shaves. He leans into a hand mirror. His face half shadow, half light. His blade moves gently, as though memory lives in each stroke. The blacksmith opens his shutters. Not to work, not yet, just to breathe in the morning. He touches the anvil, runs a hand along the hammer, then steps back. He has time. Across the canal, a florist arranges petals in a pail. Not bouquets, just petals, colors against water. She doesn't sell them. Not yet. She places them outside her door, for the town to see and smell. A girl sits at the edge of the canal. Her feet dangle. She holds a book, but does not read. She watches the clouds move instead, their soft procession across the water. The book stays closed, and that's all right. A boy throws a pebble. It skips once, twice, then sinks. He watches the circles spread, then throws another. A man sits with a cup of tea. He drinks slowly, then places the cup down, then lifts it again. This too is a kind of rhythm. A woman carries a cloth bundle, bread inside. She walks without shoes. Not out of poverty, but preference. The earth feels different this way. Cool, textured, honest. A boat floats by, not quickly, not slowly, just presently. A girl leans from its edge. She drags her fingers through the water and smiles. Chores continue. A broom, a crate, a needle, a ladle. But the town is not busy. It is balanced, alive, but unbothered. This is not work for profit, nor for pride. It is work for place, for continuity, for rhythm. The town inhales. The town exhales. It does not speak loudly, but it says, I am here. I am still. I am enough. And the canal carries these messages along its quiet current, from window to dock, from hand to hand, from breath to breath. This is how a town remembers itself. Not in great events, but in small, careful movements, repeated, honored. Chapter 3. Midday Market and Social Tides. By now, the sun is higher. Its warmth has softened the stones, warmed the shutters, and stretched the shadows thin. The mist is only a memory now, and the town breathes deeper. At the heart of it all is the market. Not loud, not frantic, just present, like a tide that rolls in each day, bringing stories, bread, shoes, and quiet company. A line of stalls curves gently around the square. Cloth awnings flutter, crates creak. The scent of cheese, of apples, of salted fish drifts through the air like a slow song. Vendors set their wares out with care, not to shout, "Buy me," but to say, "Here I am. I was made by hand. I was made with time." A row of carved spoons, a basket of plums, a spool of red thread, each one waiting, patiently. A woman leans over a stall of bread. She presses her finger gently to the crust of a loaf. It springs back with a soft crackle. She smiles, nods, pays with a coin wrapped in a handkerchief. No one here rushes. No one haggles with fury. Even disagreement is gentle. A tilt of the head, a quiet shrug, a shared understanding. We're all doing our best. Children weave between legs. One holds a turnip, another carries a small jug. They giggle softly, not in bursts, but like the rustle of leaves on a calm day. An old man sits beside a barrel of onions. He carves something with a pocket knife. Not to sell, just to pass the time. A little bird, maybe, or a fish. In a quiet corner, a woman sings. Just a few notes, no words. Not for anyone in particular. But a song, like breath, needs no audience. A boy helps his grandmother tie a bundle of herbs. She murmurs instructions, slow and low. He nods carefully. Their hands move together. A duet in time and twine. Near the canal, a barge has arrived. Its hull is wide, its color muted by years of sunlight. It brings salt, perhaps, or grain. It doesn't matter much. What matters is that it has come. The barge bell rings. Just once, a soft note to say, "We are here." And from across the square, people begin to drift toward it. A man in a hat gestures to the captain. No words pass between them, just hands, nods, smiles. The kind of conversation you only have when you've known someone 30 years and barely need to speak. A crate is lifted, slowly, placed onto a cart. Then a second, then a third. Everything moves with deliberate rhythm. A small crowd gathers near the spice merchant. He opens a tin, and the scent unfurls. Clove, cinnamon, pepper. A woman closes her eyes, breathes in deeply. For a moment, she is somewhere else. Then the tin closes, and the world returns. The fishmonger lays his catch on shaved ice. The scales shimmer in the sunlight, silver, green, pearl. He brushes one with his hand, then folds the cloth back over. The fish deserve dignity, even in silence. At the edge of the market, a painter sketches. Not the market itself, but the shadows of a nearby tree. He lifts his eyes once, then again, then paints a single line and waits. A girl in a yellow ribbon spins slowly in the center of the square, just once. She is not dancing. She is simply being round. And then she stops and laughs and runs back to her mother. Near a columned wall, 3 men sit and speak in low voices. They are not debating, not arguing, just turning ideas over like stones in a stream. Worn smooth by time, one removes his hat, fans himself, another drinks from a pewter flask. They are not in a hurry. The sun is warm. The shade is kind. A bell tolls. Once, twice. It's the kind of bell that means, look up. It's midday. You are alive. Eat something. And slowly, the crowd begins to shift. Some begin to pack up. Others unwrap cloth bundles with lunch. Dark bread, a bit of cheese, a sliver of apple. A woman with a basket walks the edge of the canal. Inside, eggs, wrapped in straw. She does not look down at the water, but the water watches her, mirrors her, gently, without opinion. A boy whistles a tune. It's not in key, but it is sincere. 2 older women laugh softly. They are not mocking. They are remembering. A dog lies in the sun. Its tail moves. Just once. Then stillness again. Everything rests. Even sound. The baker reappears. This time with something sweet. Little pastries, dusted in sugar. He doesn't sell them. He gives them. To the children. To the girl in the yellow ribbon. A woman with ink on her fingers writes in a journal. No one asks what she's writing. But we wonder. Because there's something sacred about pages filled in silence. A breeze picks up. Only slightly. The fabric above the stalls shifts. The scent of rosemary and stone and warm bread moves through the square. A man plays a lute. He does not sing. The notes come slowly, like droplets on a still lake. You barely notice them until you do. And then, you don't want them to stop. A cart departs. Its wheels creak. The merchant waves. No one calls after him. There is no need. He will return. Or someone will. The market thins, but not in a way that feels empty. More like exhalation. A sigh, contentment, closure. A mother lifts her child. The child lays their head on her shoulder. The sun casts long shadows now. Shadows that stretch like stories. The town doesn't end the market. It lets it go, like a tide returning to sea. Slow, reluctant, beautiful. Midday has passed, and the water still flows. Still slow, still steady. The market, the voices, the warmth, the glances, they leave something behind. Not noise, not clutter, but presence. A kind of memory. The stalls will return tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. But today's market, this one, belongs to today alone. Chapter 4, Afternoon. Canoes and paper boats. Afternoon arrives not with ceremony, but with warmth. The light no longer slants. It rests. Soft, golden, wide. The canal water, once silver and cool, now glows with amber. Its surface glints like brushed brass. Slow. Calm. Familiar. Even the breeze seems to slow down here. Just enough to listen. Children have come to the water's edge. They carry folded pieces of parchment, crumpled at the corners, well used. Paper boats. A boy leans down carefully and sets one adrift. It spins, tips slightly, then rights itself. The others cheer, quietly, no shouting, only delight in its gentlest form. The paper boats float past willow branches, under stone archways, around dock posts, softened by moss and time. Each boat follows a different course. None in a hurry, none worried about the destination. One child kneels to touch the water, then withdraws as if reminded. This world is cool and deep and wide. A man drifts by in a long canoe, not paddling, just letting the current carry him. He wears a wide hat tilted back. His eyes are closed. He knows the canal will guide him home. The boat drifts under a low bridge. Stone, ivy-covered, older than memory. A single pigeon watches from its perch, then closes its eyes again. Farther down, a fisherman sits on a wooden stool. His pole rests on his knee. He isn't looking at the line. He is watching the clouds move. The clouds don't rush either. They pass like dreams, half formed, half remembered. Each one is different. Each one is the same. Near the shore, a girl wades ankle deep. Her dress is pulled up, her feet silent in the mud. She's gathering lilies. She does not pick many, only the ones that seem willing. A bird chirps nearby, the kind of sound that rises, then falls, and fades. The girl does not look up, but the sound lingers, like a thread on water. Two boys play with a carved wooden toy, a miniature wheelbarrow made from scrap. One pushes, the other runs ahead. Then they trade. Back and forth, a rhythm, a bond. By a brick wall, an old man smokes a long pipe. The smoke drifts upward, mingling with afternoon air. He doesn't puff often, only when the breeze invites him to. Behind him, a vine crawls along the bricks, slowly, quietly. Like everything else here, a woman embroiders beneath a tree. Her thread moves like a stream, soft, unbroken. She's not creating anything new. She's adding to something that's always been. A basket beside her holds more thread, and a pear, and a folded letter. She does not reach for any of them. A mill turns in the distance, its blades slow, catching only part of the wind. The sound is faint, a rhythmic creak, like an old man's whisper. Even the windmills here are patient. A barge passes by. It moves slowly, like a painting being pushed through time. On board, barrels, rope, a white cloth folded neatly. No one calls out. No one waves. The canal and the barge, they understand each other. On a small dock, someone has set out tea. A clay cup. A second cup beside it, untouched. Perhaps it's for someone expected, or someone remembered. Either way, it waits. A woman sits beside it, hands folded, eyes closed. She does not drink, but she is not sleeping. She is listening to water, to air, to everything. In the shade, two ducks drift in and out of view. They move in near silence. Just enough ripple to remind you they are real. A boy reads a book with worn corners. He doesn't turn the pages quickly. He reads them the way one might sip broth. Carefully, warmly. His dog lies nearby, one ear up, one down. The boy reads aloud, though no one is near enough to hear. It's not for others, it's for the words themselves. At a windowsill, a girl arranges stones. They're not precious, just river-worn, soft and round and heavy with quietness. She makes a little line of them, then starts again. On a rooftop, laundry dances. Not wildly, just enough to sway. The shirts and dresses nod to the sun, as if thanking it for returning. At the edge of the canal, a man repairs a net. His fingers are practiced, his shoulders bent like reeds in a breeze. He pulls a thread, then knots, then rests, then continues. A passing barge hums quietly. A low, wooden sigh, the kind of sound that feels older than language. A dog barks, once, then twice, and then quiet again. The children return. Some have new boats, others just memories. They compare who's traveled farthest, but no one claims to win. That's not the point. The journey itself was the reward. A bell rings in the distance, just one. Not for church, not for warning, just to remind the world. That time is still moving, even here, even now. The shadows lengthen, not suddenly, but steadily, with grace. The children gather their things, the ducks glide into reeds, and the canal reflects a softer sky. The man in the canoe returns, still drifting, still hat-tipped. He steps ashore, his shoes touch the earth like a whisper. He does not speak, but his stillness says everything. A window opens. A hand sets out a flower pot. A red bloom, a simple gift. To no one, to everyone. The paper boats now float out of view. Some have folded, others cling to the bank. One remains, perfectly upright. The girl watches it, smiles, then turns away. Afternoon gives way to twilight, not suddenly, but in layers, like a candle placed under silk. The canal will sleep soon, but for now, it drifts, it holds, it hums. This is the lull between day and evening, where movement is still, but not gone, where life breathes, but does not stir. Chapter 5. Twilight Reflections and Lantern Glow. Evening does not arrive all at once. It seeps in gently, layer by layer, as if the world were being slowly dipped in ink. The sky changes, first faint rose, then lavender, then ash. Each hue quieter than the last, each one inviting stillness. The canal no longer sparkles, it glows. The light that once danced now rests. Shadows lean longer across the stone. You might notice how sound has softened. The birds now call only once, then twice, then not at all. Even footsteps become gentler, slower, as if the ground beneath is asking to be left undisturbed. A boy sits at the water's edge, the same one from this morning. His paper boats are gone now. In their place, his reflection. Wider, older, quieter. The canal holds this reflection carefully, the way one might hold a sleeping child. Steady, reverent. On the opposite bank, a woman lights a lantern. She does not rush. Her hand shields the flame from the wind. The match scratches. The wick catches. A bloom of gold in a fading world. One by one, more lanterns appear. In windows. On boats. Along the quay. Small orbs of warmth in the cooling dusk. They do not flicker with excitement. They glow with knowing. An old man lights the lanterns on his barge. Each one is different. glass, tin, brass, collected over years. He nods to each as it comes alive, not out of superstition, but out of respect. The canal responds. It mirrors every flame. Twice as many lanterns now, some in hand, some in water. Rippling, gentle, eternal. Inside the homes, voices lower. Not from tiredness, but from tenderness. Chairs are pulled closer. Blankets unfolded. Bread torn in half and passed quietly. At a doorway, two women sweep. One gathers dust, the other folds a rug. They speak softly. Their sentences end with laughter like the crackle of dried leaves. Then silence again. In the workshop, the blacksmith sits. His forge is cold now. His hands rest in his lap. He watches the last light from the window fall onto his anvil and says nothing. By the water, a man repairs a boot. His fingers move slowly. Stitching leather that has known many steps, he does not hurry. Night is coming, but night is patient. Somewhere nearby, a musician plays. Not a song you would know, not even a melody, really. Just a few notes, long, wandering, like shadows stretched across floorboards. The trees whisper now. Their branches no longer rustle. They murmur. A hush that even the birds seem to understand. A couple walks beside the water. Their hands do not touch, but their steps match. And that is enough. A dog curls by a doorstep. Its ears twitch once, then again, then stillness. It sleeps like something that knows it is safe. Upstairs, a candle flickers in a small room. A girl reads by its light. But her eyes do not move across the page. She is not reading the story. She is remembering it. The water has changed. No longer clear, it is now a mirror made of memory, reflecting everything and holding nothing too tightly. A woman carries a basket inside. She pauses to look back once, at the street, the water, the lanterns. Then she closes the door. Not to shut out the world, but to keep it safe within. The final bell rings. Low, long, not urgent, just present. It does not ask anyone to do anything, only to listen. Across the canal, another boat returns. Its lantern sways with each ripple. It moves slowly, brushing the edges of wake and dusk. The captain steps off, ties the rope with familiar hands, and exhales. In the corner of a courtyard, a fire burns in a small bowl. Its flame flickers higher than the others, but only for a moment. Then it settles and joins the choir of soft light. A boy opens the shutters once more. He does not look out. He leans into the night to feel the air, to listen for nothing, to know that quiet has arrived. No one speaks now unless needed. And even then, the words are few. Software rounded by the edges of sleep. A woman brushes her daughter's hair. One stroke, two, three, then the comb is placed aside, and the hair is left to fall naturally. A man takes off his boots. His feet touch the wooden floor like a whisper. He stretches, then sits, then simply breathes. On the canal, the last boat drifts through the glow of the final lantern. Its wake splits the reflections. Not violently, but like silk being drawn slowly apart. Then the water stills, and the reflections return. Even gentler now, like memories settling into sleep. Inside the homes, windows dim, shutters close. The glow from within remains, but it no longer reaches the street. The light now belongs to those who dwell in it. In one home, a child holds a toy boat, not in water, just in their hand, turning it over slowly, learning its shape with tired fingers. The mother watches, then lifts the child, carries them to bed, and leaves the door open, just a little, to let the lantern light in. On the wall, shadows sway, not sharply, but like breath. In, outside, in, outside. The canal holds it all, the light, the quiet, the day that was. It doesn't try to keep it, only to carry it forward, as canals do. Above, stars begin to blink, not urgently, just enough to say, yes, we are here. A final match is struck, a final curtain drawn, a final cup of tea half drunk and warm, and then silence. The canal sleeps, and so do we, wrapped not in blankets, but in the weight of a day gently lived. And when you sleep, may your dreams move like the water here. Slow, steady, glowing.